Guys, it's okay to go all over the place tonight. I know there were questions on pulling the repo, getting Angular working, so bear with us. We'll go through that. We'll bring you guys up if we need to for that. And let's see. Here's my list of. Oh, wait a second. This will soon be my list of collaborators. Don't give that number away, right? I just recorded that number. All right. So, Megan, I don't see you out here. So is there anybody that's not on this list that wants on this list? If you are, put your GitHub account name info into the chat and I'll add you. So I'll keep that open for a few seconds as we move through. Catalan, do you want to pull up what your error was? You can show us, you can tell me, whatever you want to do. All right, got 2 of you added in, pending invites. And I'm going to post the attendance form. Thank you for all that showed up last time. We're showing up this time. Lewis's GitHub. Okay. Oh, to add you. Yeah, that would make sense. I'm looking at that going, why do I need your GitHub account? Wait, I need your GitHub username. Sorry, my brain did not read that right. There we go. We're getting there, guys. All right. Shama, there typically aren't spaces in that you GitHub name. Well, maybe I can find you that way. Let's see. That looks like you. All right. I have people left and right. All right. So let's get into something here. Man, just as I say that, somebody gives me another. I'm glad we're recording this for posterity. Okay. And we've had, just so you guys know, we've had a few people drop out. We've added a few people in. I'm okay either way. If you need to drop out for a couple days, couple weeks, couple months, yeah, okay. I was insanely busy today, so I have not gotten to picking some people for dates and times for next week. So I'm going to look at my calendar, throw 3 days on, and I'll worry about it. Unless you really want me to randomly pick somebody, have you pick a date, and then we'll switch everything around. But I think I'm just going to pick 3 days. So yeah, it's absolutely fine. Either way, if you got something coming up, okay, let me know. I'm not going to be hurt. We have plenty of people still here, and you know, you can always come back down the road. We're recording all of this, so it'll all be out there. Okay. So the early question before I started recording had to do with somebody pulled the repo down and was trying to build the project, okay, and spin it up and see that it's working. And you guys saw me do that last week over here with the ng serve, right?
Yeah, that's where I'm having the problem.
Oh, look at this. In an Angular project, but a project definition could not be found. Well, that's an interesting.
That's close to what I'm getting. I'll post.
Oh, you know, it is. Are you in the front end folder?
Oh, maybe.
You need to do an npm install in the front end folder, and you need to run that ng serve in the front end folder because we put that in there for that level. There we go. Okay. So that way we can have a back end. We can have database if we need it later on, that kind of stuff. Okay. And for those that don't know, you will need to add the install, the ng CLI. ng is Angular. you can search that in about 5 minutes, or I said 5 minutes. You can search it in about 2 minutes and find it. Okay. This command is not available running the Angular CLI outside of workspace. Oh, yeah. So if you're not in the front end folder, you wouldn't be in a workspace. Are you in the front end folder? Are you getting that same one there? Katrina, welcome. Awesome. How'd the interview go? Here I am on a recording doing that. Katrina just joined, said she's late because she had an interview. She said it went really well. Awesome. Where can we find the recordings? Oh, that's a good question. We can find the recordings right here on my YouTube channel. And if I copy instead of, there we go. There we go. Okay. Takes me a little while because I got to convert it up and that kind of stuff. Oh, invalid values, Angular project. Choices, HTTAT. What?
I don't know either, man. I'm well known for finding weird stuff.
Let's say, can you share your screen so I can see it quickly what you're
let's see here.
looking at there? I want to close the chat down for a second so I can get a little more screen space. Oh, I don't know. Let's see. Do you have rights to share? That would be the other question. Checking settings right now just to make sure. Yeah, there aren't any settings saying you can't, from what I can see.
All right, should be sharing.
Ah, here we go. Cool.
All right.
This is what I've been hoping for. We get to jump in and look at some code, right, guys? All right. So he's got the routing module open. Okay, no big deal there. He's in. My screen is still visible to others. Click to resume or cancel your presentation. What? Yeah. I don't know which one we're recording, but we'll figure that out later. So you typed in ngserve, that is, single dash. It should be a double dash.
Oh, I think that's just the way the ligature put it together. We'll see.
That looks like a single character.
Very smart. It's always something so simple with me.
All right, so you've got an Angular. One of the things
Yeah.
you've got going on here is the Angular 15 CLI is installed on this machine. That's the latest one, and that's fine. It will look into your node modules and find the runner for the ng CLI for the specific version that the project was built in. So as long as you're ahead of whatever the project is, any CLI will do. Okay. Cool. So he's up and running. All right. I'm going to take over here.
All right.
Awesome. Resume presenting. There we go. Share now. All right. I don't need that big anymore. Hey, I like solving problems. That was cool. All right. So I gave everybody the link to. Yes. Depending on which version of Node Angular CLI you're trying to install, there are specific versions. It's really kind of strange. It's usually the even number node. I usually prefer, if I'm doing that, using something like N or NVM, if you haven't worked with those yet. Basically, either one's a good tool. I like N just because it's easy to remember, and it allows you to switch node versions on the fly. So we can set in our project that we want it to be NVM switch. It's an awesome. There are awesome sets of tools since we quite often have to switch versions. Okay. All right. So let's get into what we're doing here. So I did work a little bit more after. I got energy. I keep working 2 hours and I'm putting a few more things in. I kind of highlighted some of these that I thought somebody could pick up besides me if you wanted to, and work forward. Okay. So let's kind of talk through those, and then we'll look at what I've got in the backlog stuff. And we're not formally going to work in a sprint cycle. I'm going to try and use that sprint more like these 1 hour sessions, what I hope to get done in the session. Okay, so if you want to work on something, grab the card, move it straight over to dev, and get started. Okay. So some of the ones I've highlighted are setting up the material color scheme. I did highlight a couple of the websites that help you kind of do that stuff. We would need to look at this as Angular 15, I do believe. Wait, if that was Angular 15, why did it give us a warning? Yeah, it's Angular 15. Shouldn't have given us a warning on his side. But, oh well, not gonna worry about that. And we're going to install material. So at some point, we're going to need all the CSS stuff related to installing a material theme. At the same time, we'll probably need to pick a theme. I was playing around with that funky green color that the Scantron sheets had, and man, there's some horrible color schemes related to that. I'm no good at this stuff. So if anybody out here has any kind of talent with that, please come up with a color scheme. Go play with material, save, copy, whatever you need to give us the information so we can set it up. Okay. If not, we'll get there when we get there. Okay. We do need to install material UI in the project. It's pretty straightforward, but I don't want to do that until we get a couple things over here done first. We do need to research tests. We need test data, and you'll see when we do the JSON structure what kind of things we'll need there. That should be pretty straightforward. Need to design a logo, a fav icon, kind of going with that color scheme theme there, right? And then getting into some basic Angular, building a banner, building a grade level selector, displaying or selecting the assistance levels that they might want, the crawl, walk, run kind of stuff. None of these need to be perfect, okay? This is first round. We're going to come back. We'll reiterate on things. Okay, so I kind of highlighted with that blue some of the ones you guys might want to pick up or could pick up, okay? And there, I try and put them in order. So I dragged things around and this and that. This helper overlay is going to take a lot of work. Wait till we get there. Nice 8-pointer. So tonight I wanted to work on adding a pull request template. Okay, and I'm going to do this in probably the easiest manner possible for you guys. And it's we're going to do things like add a template. Oh. We're going to see what we find, and if we don't find anything, I'll go back to some of my old projects and pull it. It's actually really easy. Okay, what I'm looking for is the template. So template 4. Tried that way. All right, creating GitHub Docs. Let's go take a peek at that. That may have what we wanted, may not. About templates. Okay, configuring templates, syntax, creating a PR template, blah, blah, blah. I know how to create a PR template. What I want is the template. Okay. Yeah, so nothing there. That's not what I'm looking for. All right. Collection of GitHub issue and pull request templates. Hey, like that idea. Somebody's got something out there we can beg, borrow, and steal from, right? What is an issue template? Okay, how to create. Don't care about that. 10 templates you can pick from. So what does he have here? Bugs only, checklist, conversation emoji, must open issue before PR. Let's see what some of these look like. This is just going to be YAML files, so I don't know what they're going to look like until we get in here. Issue template, pull request template. All right. I might look at the issue template. So this is what it looks like when you're using it. So you have these that you can check. Which you look at this in raw form, it's a YAML file. Okay. And his is a pretty fancy YAML file compared to some. So let's go back. I don't like that one. I want something closer to what I use at work. Okay. Nope. That's better. No, maybe. Nope. Just saying you have to do it. That's kind of boring. No duplicates, question answer. Simple system. Okay. Don't like any of those. All right. So told you. Might not find it. So let's see, file, new window. I'm opening a new editor off the screen that you can't see. And I got to figure out a project that have, oops, open folder. Where did my open folder thing go? There we go. Oh, there's, okay, I'm staring right at it. All right. Projects, it's going to be in personal. It's not going to be any of those. Might be in the battle chest, although I doubt it. No. Doubt it. Nope, that was my. I have a lot of repos. Sorry, guys. Bear with me for a second. No. All I'm glancing for as I go down here is there should be a .github folder. These are Angular, but it's not showing what I'm looking for. Other than that. Oh, I know which one. Just a matter of what I named it. I did that talk or that. My daughter wants ice cream for dinner. Can you tell? I did that talk on interviewers and repositories. So I have a repo for interviewers and repositories somewhere. Wow. Do I have the link to the repo on there? Sorry, I don't mean to start this up playing. You don't need to hear me talking. There we go. I need the repo. React P. Well, that's useful. But it's a React folder, so we know that. So React project, that's probably it. Look at that. There's the build and deploy. We're going to get there. Here's the basic template. Okay. It's a markdown, so I can open with preview, show you what it looks like. Okay, so it comes up something like this. You get types of change where you can come in and you can change things. Doesn't look very fancy right here. Looks much better when it's on a pull request. Okay. How has it been tested? Checklist. So we'll add this into the project and push it up, and we'll see how that works. Okay. We may not see it on this one since you have to have it in the first time around. So we're going to do a new folder. And literally a drag and drop will take care of that. And oh, here's one of the ones that I do all the time. Guess what? I'm on the wrong branch, right? And we are working on 11. I do this all the time. So I need a new branch. Your template. And we're working off of main. We're going to bring the changes over. I love that feature.
It's nice to see experienced developers using the GUI instead of the command line all the time.
Well, honestly, I switch off. I go about 3 months either way. I don't want to lose that ability to use the command line. But I've had a few times where I had some really snarly problems that the GUI helped quite a bit. Yeah. Being able to go back in and not have to manually pull up the history and that kind of stuff is really nice sometimes. We don't need much in here. All right, and I'm going to commit, and I'm going to put publish, and then we will create a PR. Now, it doesn't work the first time, okay, which is fine. I wonder if we can, I've never tried this way before. Let's see. We're going to use it. Okay, this is what will pull up the next time because it'll grab that template. We're pushing the template in, so it doesn't have it to push in. Okay, it's not a bug fix, it's a new feature. Then you come down and no, we didn't unit test it. Pulled all code from master and retested, and are we using a master branch or a main branch? Make sure language is right, main. Okay, so we might need to make an adjustment to this before we push it in. Okay, master to main, right? Submitted the code to a quality check such as SonarQube. Well, we can take that out because we're not going to have SonarQube. No new bugs. New and existing unit test pass. Dependent changes. Version downstream modules. And this is what our final is going to look like. I'm going to copy so we can update that. So we're going to create the pull request. I'm not going to assign you guys yet. Okay, but notice how it looks now. I mean, that's nice and easy to work with, right? Much easier to read and see what happens. I did change the description. We can do that. Let's edit. Come in and say your template added period. And then, like I said, we have minor fixes. So we'll save those. And we'll come back over to get a desktop. I need to put that over there where I can click on it. And we're still in that branch. And our name is probably off. Now, we haven't closed the PR, so it just gets added to it. Okay. So if we come in now and we look at our PR, we have one file that changed. But if we refresh here real quick, you can see it. Here's where I pushed that first time. There's where I pushed the second time. Okay. And again, for you guys to review, go over to file changes, see if that's what you want it to be. You're going to review and approve. I can't do that. And I should be able to add some folks to this. As long as your account's in here, as long as I get 2 of them, we'll be able to move this forward since we've already set that part. And so it should be sending emails to you at any point. And merge is blocked until we get the reviews. Okay. Cool stuff so far. Got one. Yay. We will get use out of the template. Yes. All right. I get approved. It didn't show it, so I'm going to refresh. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It says I have 2 people approved. Oh, Megan, you didn't. Something weird happened there. Thank you. Let me check something. Megan, you haven't completed the invite, so it's not counting you as being able to approve yet. You have to go check your email and click that, whatever link that is. So because of that, I would go in here, you know, if there were some reason and I wanted to poke somebody, I can hit the refresh and ask her to do it again. Jessica did that, and looks like somebody merged it on us. Cool. Yes, there's nothing wrong with anybody merging it in, okay? All right, so we have that in, which means the next time we will actually see that PR template live. Let's close that out. We don't need that at the moment. Trello board. All right, so that's done. Not much of a code review needed on this and not much testing. Now, speaking of testing, one of the things that I didn't do that I probably should do is I didn't rerun my unit tests. I've always learned over the years to rerun those unit tests just to be sure. And let's start a new ZSH. And we're going to do, oh, yeah, 111, okay. And that's just ng tests. I mean, even if I didn't change anything on tests, always good to rerun that just to be on the safe side, okay? We don't have much in the way of tests in this project, so there shouldn't be anything failing, okay? 4 tests, cool. So we're looking good. We got that in there, all right? So close that card. Allow for JSON import. This is sometimes a tricky one. And we're gonna do it from scratch. I'm gonna close that. So JSON import Angular 15. Now, just like you can import other files, what I'm talking about here is what I eventually want is I'm going to have in this core constants file, I'm going to have some configuration data, like where the file is we want to open, right? I want to be able to import this. By default, Angular can't import a JSON file. We can grab it via API, but it seems kind of silly to try and reach for a configuration file by an API endpoint, right? Not very secure that way, okay? We can do it in import, just like we import anything else. How to import JSON files in Angular. Let's see how this article is. I'm surprised mine's not in like the top 3 or 4. I do have an article on that. Ooh. I'll try that in dark box, see if that's better. Oh, there we go, much better. Easier on my eye. First way, Angular 6.1 Plus supports TypeScript. TypeScript says it can do it. I don't believe that. All right. Well, let's try it. Okay, so we're gonna put something in here, and we're gonna call this one. Where's not endpoints? And inside endpoints, we're gonna say our test. It's called tests. And I happen to know, because I've done this about 1,000,000 times, that we're going to be working in the assets folder. And let's see, we're going to call it mock/API/ test.json. Okay. The reason I do this is I want to make it clear that it's mock data. I want to make it clear that it's API. If I have anything that traps APIs, which often I'll do for security, then I know it's going to tag that security on there, and I can see it in the networking. Okay, so we need to create a couple folders, right? So new folder, mock/API. There we go. New file. Cool. And doesn't have to be much yet. It's probably going to be a base structure. Well, let's keep it simple. So we'll do like third rate. And for right now, we'll just say this. Okay. I'm not going to make it complicated at the moment. Okay. But in here, we could also have some things like grade levels. Could be an array, at least initially. Oh, let's make that an object. And say key. So the key will match the keys in here. And say type. Straightforward, right? All right. So we'll need third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, so on and so forth. Yeah. But this is enough data to start moving this forward. Okay, I want to see if we can import this. According to that article, we can do this out of the box, which I don't believe. Okay. So how do we test this? Okay, we get rid of this title because we don't need the title. And it's a horrible place to do it, but let's do an import. Config from core constants. Let's see, this is right. Can't find the module. Consider a resolve JSON module, which, okay, look, resolve, right? So in the tsconfig JSON file, you want to add into compiler options these two lines. Resolve JSON modules and module interoperability. ECMAScript module interop. There we go. Yeah. So we need to put that in this TypeScript. tsconfig. Which is right there. And it's a compiler option. So I'm just going to put it right at the end of the list. And look at that. We can now use it. All right. So, but we can't just say console log because it's a class and we need to do something. So at this point, we're going to say implements on init. And here's one of the weird ones if you haven't worked with Angular much. On init, and the reason we're erroring here is because we haven't implemented the on init. we have to override a built-in on init function, which is ng on init, and it has to be written this way. I'm a fan of arrow functions, but what I will say is any of the on inits, any of the lifecycle hook kind of things that you get into in these classes, it has to be a standard function. It can't be an arrow function. I don't know why. They just don't work the other way. Okay. So what we can do now is we're just going to console log this config and see that it's working. And we should now have a page that we got rid of. Oh, we're not 3,000. So this one, and where's the address? 4,200. I should know that. It didn't show us much, except for it's going to be in here. Hopefully. And no. So we did not get our console log. It didn't fire on initialization. That's interesting. Why did that not get it? Sorry. I'm going to move this off the screen for the moment. Oh, there we go. It recompiled. Maybe it didn't. It may not have picked up that previous. Okay, so we got Bob and we got endpoints and grade level. Okay, so we can import this static configuration kind of stuff. And I'm a big fan of static configuration. Okay, it makes our lives so much easier overall. Okay, so having done that, let's see. Let's come over to our board. We allowed for JSON import. Not hard, right? I don't need all this at the moment. We will need it later. Okay. 2-line change for that one, but guess what I also did? We're on the wrong branch, right? And let's see, we have the test JSON we put in the API. We have the config, our app components that changed and changed. Oh, we added the on init. We still don't need. I'm going to take that back out. Let's not take that out. Let's do this. One of the other advantages of the GUI is doing things like, no, I don't want those changes. So there's the TS config changes. There's the test mock API that we'll pull in via API later. And there's our constants. Good. That's what we want. But we're on the wrong one, and we should be on, man, still can't get to the card. 12. Some of these will be easy. Some of them will be harder. Okay. Anybody that's here late, welcome. Let's see. I'm going to paste the attendance form thing again. And on YouTube, I'm at before and all. That's where I'm putting these recordings. Okay. And I'm going to bring my changes over to 12, which makes life really easy. Oh, we have to commit before we push, right? I mean, some of these are little things, but from the perspective of maintaining the project, that you'll see how big that is later on. It's huge. We're going to create a PR. Hey, look, there's our PR description. It worked. And apparently we had some X's in our data. Might have to take a peek at, let's see what happened there. Where's my GitHub folder? That's the .angular. Something weird's going on. Don't need that. There we go. Yeah, there's a get a folder. Oh, I know what's going on. I need to fetch the origin because we merged one in. I switched over to 12 before I fetched the origin. So what I need to do is over here, the easiest way is just to do I fire that sync, merge master. Not something we can merge. Oh, I mean, here we go. Whoa. Okay. I'm not using nano, that's for sure. Yes. Enter. Changes made by a org strategy. All right, good. So the org strategy changes. Hey, now we have GitHub pull request template that apparently we left some X's in, which we don't want. We want it to be empty, right? We don't want it pre-filled. That seems kind of silly. We'll save that. Close that, close that, close that, close that, close that. There we go. Get that out of the way. We got new changes. And it says update pull request template. That's exactly what we're doing. We'll push that in. And it's going to be included in our pull requests that we're working on. Fix to here. Template. All right. Pull request. Assign myself. And run my name down. Boy, this list is getting longer and longer. Whoa. All right. Oh, there we go. Wait on 2 there. All right. So what are we going to work on next? That was fairly easy, thankfully. And we can drag that over to done. Not much needs checked on that. I will not let me put it on done. There we go. And JSON structure is next. It's a good one. Skip that for a second. I want to go to the setup unit test protection HTTP2. And I'm going to be smart this time and remember to switch my branch first. And this one is setup. We have, setup, unit test protection. Okay. Oh, come on. Go off main. We don't need to pull anything over. I remember to do this ahead of time this time. And we'll publish the branch so that it's up there. I'm going to go take a quick check, see if we got approvals and merged in. Cool. You guys are having fun with that, I can see. All right, so what do I mean by branch protection? Branch protection is an interesting one that really took me a while to figure out. And what we're talking about here is a build and deploy process. No, I don't want a full build and deploy. That's not the one. Why am I missing something here? Project. Oh, wow. If I could type, we'd be doing real good. You guys are really quiet.
I'm just listening and paying attention.
All right. What we need is a workflow, and this is not the right workflow. And the build and deploy workflow that I have right here, okay? I mean, it's just what it sounds like. It's working off the branch main. It has write permissions. We have a workflow and a reference for concurrency grouping, but the important parts come down here in what's happening here. Okay, so we're using actions checkout v3, so it's actually checking out our code. It sets up Node, and in this case we're using Node version 18, and then we use cache. And so what the cache does is it says, hey, if I already have the things that I need here, don't worry about it. And the cache helps a lot with like the npm install stuff. Okay, so what it does is it caches the node folder. So if that doesn't change radically, you take a node install that could take what? Upwards of 2 minutes. We can cut that down to a few seconds. Okay, then it runs a build, which includes the npm install. And if there's nothing it has to change, it's really fast. And then a run build. And what we do after that is we move the build folder to a GH Pages branch. This is great for hosting, and we're not quite there yet. Okay. What I need is I have a project. Find the project that has I know I have a project I did this on and I got it working. I thought it was this one. I could have sworn I had it on here. I struggled with how to get the branch protection stuff to work. And it could be Wheel of Edge. Yeah, very well could be. That's one that I have done a lot of work with. So I have that open recently.
Sorry, I just realized my mic was off. When you say branch protection, you mean the main branch or each branch that we're working on, right?
I mean the main branch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I thought it was just a click. Hold on.
Well, yes, there is that branch protection, but what I'm talking about here is unit test level protection.
Unit test.
What will happen in unit test level protection is I don't have it in that project. Weird. You can't merge your PR until the unit tests pass.
Okay. You have to pass the unit
So
test in order for your PR to even merge, right?
Yeah, I have one of my projects I managed to get it working in, and unfortunately, I don't think I have. Part of the problem is I'm looking at like the Edge folder right here. Well, the GitHub, since it's got a period in front of it, is a hidden page. So maybe what we need to do so we can speed up me is Mac display hidden folders. Right. Command Shift period. Well, that would be too easy, wouldn't it? Command Shift period. Oh, it actually works. Look at that. So now I can see what's in my Git folder, what's in my GitHub folder, which is just my workflows. That'll make it easier to track down. So let's change our view this way because then I can get through them faster. So we know it's not in the Wheel of Edge. What to avoid when writing unit tests? I don't think it's going to be in there. GitHub. There's the GitHub on tic-tac-toe. Yeah, it's not going to be in that one, but we'll check anyway. Nope. Threads, it's not going to be in there. Test console, presenter. This is the drawback when you want to find out one particular thing that you have working somewhere. Another GitHub folder. This is the React project. Yeah. I thought it was in this one. I wonder. Let's see. I could have sworn it was on this one, but I wonder if it's in a branch. No, I don't have any that aren't merged. Crud. I was hoping maybe it was hidden in a branch somewhere. Where'd my finder go? There it is. All right, so let's make this wider so we don't have to spend all day bouncing back and forth. Positional nav, nope. Programming, nope. Multi-select. I don't even remember what multi-select is. How's that? I'm really good at that GH Pages. I got it done one time. Oh, it's not going to be in that one. The newer Angular, because of that, that's the way cache is. But I don't have the protection in it. Buzzer, maybe. Nope. Crud. Ah, there we go. On pull request. Yay, that's the one we want. It's the on pull request. All right, I'm going to bring back the how to take a test. I'm going to open this up in the folder. So give me 1 second to open that folder up. It's in the original Edge buzzer. Open. There we go. And workflows on pull request YAML. I'm going to bring this in. Oh, I can't just bring that in. I need to create a workflows folder. Oh, yeah. And we want the on pull request. And this one took forever to figure out. These all look really easy, right? And we're on main, not master. The on pull request. The job does a build and has a name called on pull request. The problem I fought with this for like, I don't know, 8-9 hours. And you have to push up to GitHub every time to see this thing run. And in all the documentation I had found on how to do this, none of them had the name on there. And so every time I'd go over to say, hey, run this script every time a PR comes in, that name never showed up. So I couldn't say use this, right? Use the values of this one. So it's using Ubuntu latest. We're using Node 18. We can tell it, other versions if we wanted in there. Again, we're going to check out our code. We're going to set up Node. In this case, Node 18, and that's what the matrix version allows us to do. And this is where it sets with the Node version for the setup. And these names come out as part of the build pipeline. I'll show you how we can get in there and see that, okay? Again, we're using caching for the Node modules. And we want to run a Node CI and a Node run tests and NPM run tests. So I want to check something on that real quick because specific for that one, I was doing something different, okay? And that's going to be in my package JSON. And test is just ng test. Now, we don't have Angular. We should have the Angular NPM installed, but what we want to run is NPM run test, okay? So NPM run test, we take that off. And if you haven't seen the NPM CI before, it's the same thing as install, but it's a configured install specifically for pipelines where it does the absolute minimum it needs to do and error handling and that kind of stuff. It's not going to ask you any questions or any of that kind of stuff. So it's a little more streamlined, runs a little bit faster. So that should be all we need to get our on pull requests working minus a configuration change. But that's the code we need, okay? So, I guess I really don't need to drag it off the screen, do I? Let's put that there. And we're going to come over here, and we're setting up the unit test part of it. And all this says is if there are any failed tests, you cannot merge your PR, okay? And so, to set up YAML for pipeline. Oh, we're almost out of time. Okay, we're going to push that up. We're going to create a pull request. This one's not going to work this time, but the very next one we do, we'll do that. And that's fine for what we did there. Set up the YAML. The feature. Unit tests really don't matter there. You tell I've done that a few times. And I'm going to assign myself. And start clicking down the list. So next time we do this, you'll actually get to see that go live. That's a really cool part, I think. Okay, so right now it's not doing it, okay, because we have to actually tell it to use it. In the GitHub Actions, we haven't seen anything run yet. Okay, so this is default, nothing's happening. Suggesting things we could do for our repository, we're not going to worry about that. Where we need to change things is in the, I do believe, I have to remember exactly where to do this again. Is it under Actions? I don't think so. I think it's under Branches. And let's take a look at our branch protection main. Status checks to pass before merging. No status checks found. Okay. This is what we need to change, but we need to get this to get that YAML file to run at least once. Okay. So what does it take to get that YAML file to run? Well, if we go back and look at our code, it runs on pull request, merging into main. So we have to open another PR saying we wanted to merge into main before this runs. After this runs, then when we come in here and look at that branch protection rule, we'll get a little search box and we can put that on in there. And at that point, it will run as soon as you open up a pull request. Okay, so it's another level of protection.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah,
so you're saying whenever you make the request to merge, because we put that status on the branches, it will automatically run the unit test to make sure they don't fail before they even allow you to make the request?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and is that going to run through Jasmine, those unit tests?
Yep.
Okay.
Cool. Yes.
All right. Just wanted to make sure I understood like the flow. Okay.
Exactly. So just like, if you guys pulled this down, I know at least one of you pulled this project down recently and tried to run it, right? Once you've got it installed, you did your npm install, you come over here, you do an npm run test. That's exactly what's going to happen in that pipeline. Okay. Let's see, that is on my, the original is in my how to take a test branch. That was in the edge buzzer branch, right? I can actually show you one of the rows. That's the right repo. There we go. So if we look at our settings here, I'll always go showing off my settings, but let's go take a look at our branch rule. And we're going to scroll down here and notice now we have this on pull request. That's the one that we brought in. Okay. GitHub Actions. Okay. So that status is required to complete positively. All right. So if we go look at our code, you saw that the one in here is the one that we put in, and not build and deploy, on pull request. So this is the one we copied over. We changed master domain, and we changed that to npm run test. Okay, so this is the one that actually ran for this project. And if you go into GitHub Actions, you'll see things where I merged things in, and these are some negative, some positive. And this might not have been negative because of failed test, but what you can do here, when you see these runs, these are each individual workflow runs. They're not all on pull request. Some are build and deploy. So let's look at the on pull request runs. And now these are all on pull request. And I had a few, looks like, broken. Well, let's take a look at this and see what we've got in the job completed. So we see this matrix on pull request. And it took 1 minute and 11 seconds. And why is it not letting me in? Oh, logs are not available. Okay, it's been a while since I've run that. Huh, interesting. come back up here and I wonder if I can trigger a rerun. I've never done that before. Nope. So it does. It gives you logs and all of that. I've never tried to rerun one, so I don't know. Let's come back up to the parent level. And yeah, all I can do is view the file or delete the flow run. I was hoping I could just trigger it. But first time for everything. But you'll get to see it probably the next time we get together. Okay. Good question. All right, we got about 4 minutes left. Any other questions? So, given the fact that we're not quite finished on this one, I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna edit because I'm not quite done, and I want to make sure we remember. And I'm gonna say need to add branch action after owner. Oops.
Are we going to want to pull in material before we start actually building components and stuff for this?
Yeah, I think that's the way I've got it geared up. Those are some of the next
All
ones. Yeah. So if somebody wanted to play with pulling in material, open a branch.
Okay.
See if you can get material installed and, maybe successfully put something on the main page using material. See what that's like. I have no problem if somebody wants to pick up one of these cards. In fact, what I should have been doing correctly.
I was looking at the banner one and realized that you probably want to display it in an actual component, not just hard coded.
I'm okay either way initially. I mean, there's room to play here. You can open a branch, you can poke at some code, and absolute worst case, we can wipe the branch, right? Or you push the code up and maybe I make about a bazillion suggestions on things you can change. Okay. So yeah, I think it's absolutely fine. Anybody wants to jump in on any portion of this, try something, play with something, whatever. This is a chance for you guys to explore. If we get together to do a review, if I see I'm not even gonna say, I almost said if I see you're way off track. But I don't want to say that. If you want the time, we can get together and go over the code as a peer review as opposed to a pull request review. I'm absolutely fine with doing that. I probably will record those sessions where we talk about it so the other folks can see what we went over on this, okay? But yeah, if you want to try pulling material down and doing it, if somebody wants to take a look at how the material color scheme is put together and do that, feel free, jump in. Basic banner, yeah, it should have material, but if you want to build a basic banner and figure out how to get it up on the top and play with the built-in CSS, we can always remove some of that later as we jump into material.
Okay.
There's nothing saying there's no wrong way around this. I've got a rough endpoint in my head, but I'm not the only one on this team, right? So I got a meeting in 60 seconds. Any critical questions here? I saw the attendance stuff was asked. Good to see everybody. I hope you're learning something from what we did here. Okay. What you saw a lot of tonight was setup and pipeline kind of stuff. And the CI/CD pipeline, eventually we're going to merge it so that it's on GitHub pages, at least initially. I do want to have some conversations later on where we host, because the GitHub pages probably shouldn't be our long-term solution, right? All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns? If you want to pick up a card, run with it, fine. If you just want to wait for the next session, fine. Tomorrow I'll book a couple of dates and I'm just going to pick them. I don't feel like doing the work and sending the emails out this week. It's been a long week. All right, guys.
All right.
I will catch up with you later.
Take care.
Have a
Bob.
great
Thank
day,
you.
man.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.